Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Say hi, everyone. Okay. No, we're so pleased to have everyone here to celebrate with us. It's not often we have sort of a double Simcha celebration, and we have a lot to be thankful for. It seems like we were just doing this last year or the year before, every year. It's really been a lot of Simchas. Bitzal, where's Bitzal? Bitzal is turning 5 years old this week. Exactly. He's going to be 5, and that makes us sort of realize that a lot has happened in 5 years. We've had a bunch of brises and Simchat Bats now, and upshurns and birthdays, and we're so thankful, and we don't take it for granted. There were many years where we dreamed about things like this, and we're very thankful to Hashem for allowing us to get to this point, to have kids waking us up in the middle of the night, crying in diapers and all that. That's what we prayed for. So we appreciate that, and we're very grateful for that. I did want to, besides that, obviously thank my wife, who's amazing, who without her, for just doing an amazing job with everything, with so many of us. Hey, no, good job. Okay, I did want to, after anyone specifically, but just because we really like both of those names, and we thought they were beautiful names. I do want to start actually with her middle name first. Mayan is a spring. And I remember back in college, I was taking a Midrash course, and we were learning the Midrashim concerning Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai and his 5 students. And with everyone, he would ask a question, and they would all give answers, great answers. But his favorite student was Rabbi Elazar ben Arah, and he gave him a special nickname. Each one had a special nickname, but he gave Elazar ben Arah the nickname Kimayan Hamit Gaber, like a spring that gets stronger. And in the ancient world, and really the world until very recently, water was life. You had to really consider where you're getting water. If you didn't have water, in death, and famine, and horrible times. And there are different ways you could get water, different sources of water. But a spring is different than the other ones. It's not like a lake or anything like that. Even if you have a cistern that keeps the water, you take water out, you deplete the water. But a spring has the ability to replenish itself. Because the water source comes from underneath. Anything you take out, it's going to create, it's going to produce its own water, its own life. And obviously water it means Torah as well. So it's the idea that not only what you can retain, but you can create and produce and give life into our. And that's what we were sort of hoping our Ayelet Mayan's life would be like. And Ayelet is a gazelle. And I thought the idea, the image of a gazelle drinking from that spring, drinking the water, as a strong, beautiful, graceful animal, are all traits that we want in our little girl. I need another switch. Hold on. All right. All right, here's our now, besides celebrating this special girl, we have obviously another celebration today, in that we're going to be making Aliyah. And it's in many ways a bittersweet one. We've been here for a long time. 8.5 years I've been in Hollywood. I came as a single man, and now look at me. You're welcome. Filling out paperwork for a family of 6 to make Aliyah. You know, it's hurting my hand having to write so many things. But again, all blessings. For years, I had thought what I would say if I was ever in this situation that I was going to make Aliyah. And I think a lot of things I would have said years ago, I'm not going to say now. I don't want to say anything too controversial or offensive or anything. But I do want to say something that I was thinking that I read a few years ago. I was reading Rabbi Shlomo Lishkin's has a commentary on the Torah, 5-volume set, and on the Parsha Vayigash, when Yosef is reunited with Yaakov. We all know the story. It says that he held him and he put his head on his shoulder and he cried. We know that that's talking about Yosef was the one who cried. Commentaries say, hey, what did Yaakov do? And we know the Rashi says that he was saying Shema. And Rabbi Riskin takes from this the idea that there are different ways people approach Judaism and Torah. And Yosef is such a great character. He's crying. He's so emotional. We really connect with him. But what Yaakov is sort of doing is rebuking him at that time, saying that there are times you have to do what's right. You have to do what the Torah wants, and take the emotions out of it. And you have to say, this is what our Heavenly Father wants from us. And decisions like this aren't easy. And this is one of those. He goes on to give an example of someone he knew in America, and he came back to visit after he had made Aliyah, and the guy said, I would easily make Aliyah, but I just can't imagine having my kids have to go to the army. And that's what he said. And I think about that. This is not an easy decision that we're making. And I think of Bitzal and Noam and the future that we're choosing for them. Some things are not easy, but you have to make that Yaakov decision sometimes and not the Yosef, and take the emotions out of it and say, what really is best for our family, what's best for our girls. And I know that I'm not the only one thinking that way. My mom in the hospital was very forward, that she was very glad that we had a girl. She was thinking, now it's one less thing for her to worry about, about 18 years from now, what's going to be happening. Although, I know my girls may be joining the army. But we know this is not an easy decision. I also think about, when you learn about Avraham Avinu and the trials that he went through, you learn about the Akedah. There's nothing you can imagine as difficult as that. But Chazal questions, what was his toughest trial? Was it Lech Lecha, having to leave his homeland and go to Eretz Yisrael? Or was it the Akedah? You think, of course the Akedah is the hardest thing to do. But the older I get, the more I think about it, it's not so simple. I think if people were given those options, making Aliyah, in some ways is more difficult. And to leave your family, your friends, your community, your society, everything you know, it's going to be a challenge. But it's a challenge that we're looking forward to. It's a challenge we're up for, we're excited for, and we're going to make successful. So we just want to thank everyone for coming. Hopefully this is not a going away, but it's until we meet again sort of party.
Using rabbinic discretion, but I have to say, I have two children.